Your next witness, Mr. Lally?
Yes, Your Honor, the Commonwealth to call Miss Karina Kolokithas to the stand.
Okay. Okay, whenever you're ready, Mr. Lally.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Could you please state your name and spell your last name for the jury?
It's Karina Kolokithas, Kolokithas.
And where is it that you live, ma'am?
I live in Canton.
And how long have you lived in Canada?
We lived in Canton for about 13 years. 21 years.
And when you say we, who, if anyone, do you live in Canada?
I live with my husband and my 2 daughters.
And what's your husband's name?
His name is Nicholas.
And how many daughters do you have?
I have 2,
And about how old are
18 and 16.
they? And do you work, ma'am?
I do work.
And what do you do for work?
I'm a pharmacist.
And your husband works as well?
He does.
And what does he do?
He's an attorney.
Now, if I could turn your attention to January 28th and January 29th of 2022, recall those days?
I do.
And do you recall what day of the week those were?
It was a Friday and a Saturday.
And specific to the Friday, did you work that day?
I did work that day.
And after you left work, where did you go?
I went to the Canton Junction.
And why did you go?
We got a text saying some parents from the varsity team were going to be meeting up there, so I thought it would be a good idea to go and stop by and grab something to eat before the game.
And when you say varsity team, which sport was that?
It's basketball.
Was that your older daughter or younger daughter that was on that team?
My older daughter played on that team.
And so at some point there was a game for the varsity girls basketball team?
That's correct.
And where was that game that night?
At Canton High,
And do you recall who they played that night?
they played Foxborough.
And do you recall when the game was?
You mean time?
Yes.
6:30.
And so you mentioned that you went to the Canton Junction for about an hour, so about what time did you get to the Canton Junction?
I believe I got there around 6. I'm not sure.
And following the Canton Junction, where did you go from?
Went to Canton High to watch my daughter play.
And within sort of the stands at a Canton High girls varsity basketball game, were there certain people that you would typically sort of sit with when you watched the game?
We just sit with whoever we knew. Usually it was the parents of the girls that played on the varsity team.
And who were some of those parents that you would sit with?
Some of them were the McCabe's, the Fitzgeralds, people like that.
And the McCabe's, what are their names?
Jennifer and Matt McCabe.
And how long had you and your family known the McCabe's?
I think we've known them for about 9 years or so.
And did they have a, excuse me, a daughter on the team as well?
They did.
And so you arrived to the game, as far as your husband was concerned, did you observe him there?
He was there already.
Okay. And where did you go to sit?
I went in I don't exactly remember where I went to sit in the vicinity of my husband and those parents.
And following that game, where did you go from there?
So after the game, we went, usually at the end of the game, you'd go down, talk to the players, congratulate them, and then I told everybody I was going home.
And did you in fact go home?
I did go home.
And after you arrived home, what, if anything, happened?
I started getting text messages from my husband, and he said that some of the parents were going to go to grab something to eat, and I should go.
And what, if any, hesitation did you have about that?
I was tired. I worked all day. Pretty much I was done. So I had already almost started changing out of my clothes, and I said I wasn't going to go.
And eventually, did you decide to go?
My kids told me to go. They did. They actually, they said to me, you never go out, you don't do anything. Dad's by himself, you should go. And just keep him company while he eats dinner. So that's what I did.
And so based on that, you decided to go?
I did,
Where did you go?
reluctantly.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, reluctantly I went, yes.
And where is it that you went?
So that's when I went to CF, I'm sorry, I went to the waterfall, sorry. I'm a little nervous.
And is the waterfall, is that somewhere you had been before?
I had been to the waterfall before.
And where is that located in the town of Canton?
It's on Washington Street in Canton.
And so obviously your husband was already there, you took separate cars, is that correct?
That is correct.
And about what time is it that you got to the water?
I believe I got to the waterfall around 9:30 at night.
And where did you park your car in relation to the waterfall?
So I actually found parking right on Washington Street, and I was across the street from the waterfall.
And when you arrived and when you came in, who, if anyone, did you recognize sort of when you first came into the waterfall?
So I walked into the waterfall, and there, pretty much, I didn't know anybody except for Matt McCabe, Jennifer McCabe, and my husband.
And if you could describe for the jury sort of when you walk in the door, the people that you knew as far as your husband and the McCabes, where were they in relation to you walk in the door, where are they?
So you walk in the door, there was a band in the front playing, and then there were high-top tables, and they were at the back of the high-top tables.
And if I was standing sort of at the doorway of the waterfall, the entrance way in, and facing those high-top tables, which side were your husband and the McCabes on from that perspective?
On the right. I believe the band was playing on the, if you walked in the door, the band was in like the top part of the, like on the left, and they were on the right.
And the band that was playing that night, fair to say it was fairly loud in there?
It was extremely loud in there, yes.
And as far as, obviously you're at a bar, people are drinking, is that correct?
That is correct.
And what, if anything, did you have to drink that night?
I drank water that night.
And why was that?
I typically don't drink a lot. I suffer from migraines, so one like alcoholic beverage sometimes can set me off for days. So I chose water.
Now, as far as that high-top table that you went to with your husband and the McCabes, were there other people at that table?
There were other people there.
Okay. And did you know or recognize any of those other people at the table?
So it was pretty much all of Jennifer McCabe's family. I did not know them, maybe had seen them around town and stuff like that, but I didn't know anybody other than my husband and Matt and Jen.
So fair to say that you sort of gravitated or stayed towards that end of the table?
That is correct. I talked to them for a bit, and then I think Jen started introducing me to some people, and I met some of her family.
Now, as far as sort of the overall sort of demeanor within the bar that night and within the group that you were at the high-top table with, how would you describe that?
Everybody was happy, having a good time.
No arguments amongst anybody at any time that you saw throughout the entire time you were there?
The whole time I was there was no issues at all.
Now, at some point later on in the evening, who, if anyone else, that you recognized or knew came into the bar?
So I believe I was actually about to leave, and that's when Karen and John came in.
And just to be clear, when you say Karen, you mean Karen Reed, is that correct?
That is correct.
And just to be clear who we're talking about, do you see Karen Reed in the courtroom today?
I do.
And could you just identify as to where she's seated or an article of clothing?
She's sitting right there.
That's a record reflect identification.
Okay.
Now, Mr. O'Keefe, John O'Keefe, how did you know him?
So John, his niece, and my younger daughter were friends.
Were friends, are friends?
They are friends.
And about how long had you known John O'Keefe?
John, we've probably known for 8 years or so.
And if you recall, when was it about that you had met the defendant, Ms. Reed?
I met Miss Reed at, I'm not sure exactly I think the first time I met her was at Jen McCabe's house.
And if you know about when was that in reference to this date of January 28th, 2020?
I believe I met her sometime in 2020.
Sometime in 2020 at Ms. McCabe's house.
That is correct.
And how would you describe sort of the nature of your relationship between either yourself and Mr. O'Keefe, or yourself and who did you know better, Mr. O'Keefe or Ms. Reed?
I knew Mr. O'Keefe better. We saw him all the time. My daughter would have play dates with his niece. my husband coached basketball that his niece played on his team. So he was a great guy. We saw him all the time. Yeah.
And prior to this date of January 28th, had you ever been in any kind of social setting out with the defendant, Ms. Reed, before?
I had not been, no.
And do you recall approximately what time it was that they came in and you were about to?
I believe it was around 11 o'clock.
And at some point, did they, and by they I mean Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed, did they make their way over to where you were seated at the high top?
They did. So they walked in, and John did his rounds, said hi to everybody, came, gave me a hug, and they headed towards us, yes.
And when they came over to you, what, if anything, happened?
John was really happy. He started talking about Kaylee and how she had just gotten into Bishop Fian. And he was just very excited. You could tell he was super excited about that.
Now, as far as Mr. O'Keefe was concerned, what, if anything, do you recall about what he was wearing that night?
I believe he was wearing a baseball hat, jeans, sneakers, some kind of top.
And what, if anything, do you recall about sort of a jacket or anything like that with him at any time that you saw him that night?
I don't remember a jacket. I remember like some kind of light shirt or something, like a light hoodie-ish kind of, I don't remember a jacket.
As far as his clothing was concerned, what, if anything, do you recall about the condition of it? Were there any sort of tears or disheveled to?
He looked fine. Nothing about his clothing stood out to me.
Now, as far as what you observed as far as interactions between the defendant and Mr. O'Keefe that night, anything out of the ordinary that you observed while you were at the bar?
The defendant. Say that again?
Sure. As far as their interactions between Mr. O'Keefe and the defendant, anything out of the ordinary that you observed between the two of them that evening at the bar?
I saw nothing. I did not see anything.
And extending that sort of to the entire group at the high top table that you were with, anything that you observed sort of out of the realm of the demeanor that you've already described at any point in time in the evening?
No, everybody was having a great time.
Now, with regard to sort of where you were positioned at the high top table in regard to Mr. O'Keefe, was he closer to your end, or where was he located? If you...
I'm not sure. I don't know where he ended up going. I know that Karen stayed with me, and then I'm not sure where John went, but I know he was talking to the guys, probably.
So Mr. O'Keefe was moving around a bit, talking to different people,
Yes,
and Ms. Reed was down towards where you were, is that correct?
that is correct.
And who, if anyone else, was sort of down your end of the table? Who were you talking to when Ms. Reed came up?
It was Jen McCabe,
So
the three of us.
when Ms. Reed comes and joins, is essentially Ms. Reed, the defendant, yourself, and Ms. McCabe.
That is correct.
And when Ms. Reed first comes up, what, if any, conversation did she have with either yourself or Ms. McCabe?
She started talking to Jen first, and then they had a conversation, and then we started talking.
In that first sort of initial conversation between the defendant and Ms. McCabe, did you hear any of that conversation?
I did not. It was loud. I don't know what they were talking about.
Now, as far as, obviously you're at a bar and people are drinking, what, if anything, did you observe Mr. O'Keefe be drinking that night?
I believe he was drinking beer.
And as far as Ms. Reed was concerned, what, if anything, did you observe her to be drinking that night?
She was drinking something out of a clear glass, perhaps.
So clear glass with a clear liquid in it?
Correct.
Now, as far as through any conversation that you had with either the defendant or Mr. O'Keefe, Did you have any understanding of sort of where they came from prior to coming into the waterfall?
So they had come from across the street,
And what is across the street?
from the bar, I think, so it was CF McCarthy's.
And so as far as the conversation that you, at some point in time during the course of the evening, you had a conversation with Ms. Reed, is that correct?
We talked for quite a while.
And during that time that you were talking for quite a while, as far as, was that strictly sort of the two of you, or was Ms. McCabe involved in those conversations as well?
Ms. McCabe was involved with those conversations.
So just to,
It was the three of
the
us.
three of you are talking together? Okay. And with respect, to the defendant's relationship with Mr. O'Keefe, what, if anything, did she say about that?
So she started by saying how much she admired him, how much how much he did for the children, just how she looked up to him for that. She started with that. Well, she started talking about my kids first, and then she started talking about John.
So she spoke about your kids?
About my daughter, yeah.
A little bit of a glowing fashion, is that correct?
She did. She always had a way of like saying, I don't know, she seemed to love my younger daughter, and she said that she really liked my daughter's relationship with John's niece. So she first started with that conversation, and then she went on talking about John and his relationship.
And then after she talked a little bit about that, what, if anything else, did she talk about?
So she started talking about how much he sacrifices, how he's like unconditionally puts all his time and effort into the kids, how she admired him for that, and how she also wished that some of the family members would step up and help out a little bit more, because he took all the burden on himself.
And what, if anything, else did she say about that in relation to sort of their relationship?
Just that she wished they had a little bit more time to, go out, go on dates, go on vacation. But she did mention that they had planned a trip or something like that, that she was excited about.
Now, about what time would you say it was that you left from the waterfall?
I think everything started wrapping up around midnight.
And prior to that, what, if any, discussion did you hear or were you a part of as far as anybody talking about where to go next?
So I think everybody was having a really good time. So there was conversation first about where could people go, and there was talk about maybe going across the street to the pizza place.
And what pizza place is across the street?
There's a pizza place called D&E Pizza, and the owner happened to be there that night. So I think someone brought it up, or there was some conversation amongst the group, like, hey, let's go there, and he said no.
And what, if anything, did you hear the defendant, Ms. Reed, say in reference to going to the?
She just seemed like willing to go.
Was that something that she mentioned once or more than once?
I believe she mentioned it more than once, but I don't remember, like, at this moment, but.
Is your memory exhausted as to that?
Say that, could you rephrase that?
Memory exhausted as to that particular point?
I believe it was more than once. Is that your question?
That's my question.
Yes.
Now, other than that, what, if any, other discussion was there as far as where people were wanting to go or intending to go after the war?
So after that was kind of, put to rest, then I think there was discussion about, well, Jen McCabe brought up, let's go to my sister's house.
And is that somewhere that you or your husband, to your knowledge, had ever been to before?
We had never been to her house before, no.
And was that something that was sort of a private invitation, or was that sort of open to the group at the table?
I think it was said out loud, like, hey, anybody wants to go, we can go to my sister's on Fairview. I wasn't specifically invited myself. I just think it was put out there.
And did either yourself or your husband take anyone up on an invitation? Did you go to Fairview after the waterfall?
We did not go. I actually said to him, there's no way we're going anywhere. We're going home.
And just to be clear, by him, you mean your husband?
My husband, yeah.
And around the time of midnight or so when you were leaving, who, if anyone, did you sort of walk out with initially?
So I believe, let me think. It was always Jen, myself, and Karen. So we got up, and Karen went over to John, something like that. He like put his arm around her. I don't know if they had a conversation, they talked. It seemed like they were like quite lovey-dovey at that point. And then that's when Jennifer McCabe went up to Karen and said, "You're coming with me." Like, and she like grabbed her, like she put her arm around her and she said in front of me, she's like, "You're coming with me, you're coming with me."
And just to be clear, like sort of how she said that, was that in sort of a forceful way or
No, like joking around, like, "Hey, you come with me. We're gonna," and Karen said, "Where are we going?" And Jen said, it doesn't matter. It'll be a surprise." Like, it was like something like that.
And did the three of you sort of walk towards the door to the parking lot together?
Yes.
And where was your husband at this point?
He was behind. He was with Matt McCabe. They were helping the band like clean up and get their stuff together. And it was the three of us in the front, meaning the women.
And at the initial time when you're walking out, you and Ms. McCabe and the defendant, where is Mr. O'Keefe?
I'm not a little bit behind us. I'm not sure.
So not directly with your group, but...
Not with us, no.
Now, at some point you get outside of the waterfall, is that correct?
That's correct.
And at some point when you're outside of the waterfall, do you see Mr. O'Keefe at that point?
I did. All of a sudden, it was weird. I see Karen with John, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird. I thought she was going with Jen." And that's just what made me notice it. It was that the whole, like, Jen wanting Karen to go with her, and then all of a sudden I see Karen with John. I just thought it, I was just like, oh, so it made me notice it.
And so you proceed to your car, I'm presuming on Washington Street, correct?
That is correct.
And if you recall, which direction was your car facing, like down towards the waterfall or away from the waterfall?
It was away from the waterfall.
And who, if anyone else, did you observe walking in the direction of Washington Street at the same time as yourself?
That's when I saw Karen and John walking.
And they were walking in that direction as well?
Correct.
Did you see them approach or get near to some sort of vehicle?
It looked like they were walking towards a black SUV of some sort.
And have you seen either the defendant or Mr. O'Keefe in relation to a dark or a black SUV prior to that date?
I believe I had, yes.
And whose car did you believe it was?
I thought it was Karen's car.
And which side of that vehicle did you observe Karen walking to?
She was walking to the driver's side, but again, I was more concerned about crossing Washington Street, and there was a little bit of snow at that point. So I didn't see, like, I saw them walking in that direction, like her going to the driver's side and John going to the other side, but I didn't see anything after that.
And were they on the same side of the street as you or the opposite?
They were facing the opposite direction.
So you were facing away from the waterfall, they were facing towards the waterfall, is that right?
They were just like, we were in different directions. So I was like, it's hard to explain, but they were facing, like I was facing up and they were facing back.
And different sides of the street, is that correct?
That is correct.
And then you got in your car when you left, is that correct?
That is correct.
And around that time that you left, I think you alluded to it, but when you got to your car, what was the weather like at that point?
It had just started snowing. You could see the street still.
So you could still sort of see the blacktop through whatever snow was on the ground.
That is correct.
With the court's permission, I'd just like to publish just what's been marked as Exhibit 53, just a couple of portions of that on the screen for this witness.
Okay.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could, I'd ask first for the second video from Channel 3. And again, if I could ask for approximately 10:59. And if you could just get there. So Ms. Kolokithas, do you recognize what's up on the screen?
Yes,
And what do you recognize it to be?
that's the waterfall.
And is this a video that you've seen on a prior occasion?
Yes.
Now, before you, ma'am, there should be a laser pointer. If there's any need for either myself or another attorney, all I would ask you to do is just sort of press that button on it and direct it at the screen.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So from this video, first of all, as far as the people in the video, do you recognize anybody in the video?
It's really hard to see, but it's you want me to point?
If you recognize anyone, I would ask you to draw the jury's attention to
So-
that person and explain who that is.
Oh, sorry. That, I believe, is my husband with that. Maybe, I'm not sure.
So if you don't know, or if you can't tell, or you don't know the people,
I'm not sure.
okay.
It's hard to tell.
Now, Mrs. Kolokithas, just from up on this video, you recognize sort of the table that you were at or around on the evening of January
Yes,
28th?
the high tops, yeah.
Okay. And if you could just direct the jury's attention to, generally speaking, which side of the table that you spent your time talking to Ms. McCabe and the defense?
So, like, if we're pointing to here, I'd be on that side, like the left side of the table, if you want to call it the left side.
And the area where the band was,
Is
if you could.
The band is here, like, that's what I meant, the left, yeah, on the front.
And if you know the front door area, sort of where is that located?
So, it's like right there.
And Ms. Gilman, if you could just run this video from 10:59 to 11 p.m. Thank you. Ms. Gilman, if you could take that down, and with the court's permission, I would ask for, from the same Channel 3, the sixth video. And Ms. Gilman, if I could direct you to 12:09 and 50 seconds. Thank you. Be very positive. Again, Mrs. Kolokithas, you recognize what's up on the screen as just later on in the evening at the waterfall, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And is this towards the end of the evening?
Yes, it is.
And fair to say that the lights have been turned up, so it's a little easier
So
to
now
see
I
things?
can recognize a few more people.
And so from what you can see up on the screen now, if you could, using that laser pointer, just direct the jury's attention to anybody that you recognize.
Oh, okay, so that's me right there, and then my husband is right there, Nicholas, and I don't know if that's Matt, Jen, and I can't tell because of the barcode up there. who that
With
is.
the date and time
But
stamp.
yeah, I can't see who that is.
And Ms. Gilman, if you could play it from this.
Oh, I see John too,
Oh,
sorry.
sure, please go ahead.
And I see John. John's right there.
Thank you. Ms. Gilman, if you could play it from this point till 12:11 and 4 seconds. Ms. Gilman, if you could pause it right there. Now, as far as, just for the record, we're at 12, 10, and 38. You see sort of 3 individuals going towards the front entrance?
Yes,
So you just have to say.
yes.
And with respect, if with that laser pointer, if you could just identify for the jury who, if anyone, you recognize from that group of 3.
Okay, so that's Jennifer McCabe, that's me, and that's Karen.
So you're walking sort of towards the exit at the same time, correct?
Yes.
Ms. Gilman, if you could. You could pause that, Ms. Gilman. Now, there's another individual sort of making their way to the doorway. Do you recognize that person?
Yes, that's John.
That's John O'Keefe,
John O'Keefe, yes.
exiting from the wall.
Correct.
Ms. Gilman, if you could just play the last 2 seconds. Okay. Now, Ms. Gilman, if I could ask you from the same exhibits, but from channel 1, and the 3rd video down on channel 1. If I could ask you to fast forward to about 12:11. And essentially, what I'm going to ask Ms. Gilman is if you could play this from 12:11 and 0 to 12:11 and 25 seconds. But I'm sorry, first, if I could ask you to just pause it for 1 second. And I know it's an awful time to pause it, but before the flag blew in front of the camera, do you recognize what's depicted up there?
Can you repeat the question,
What's
please?
in this video generally without what's blocking the camera right now? Do you recognize what?
It's the exit,
So that's the exit to the waterfall?
correct.
Thank you. Ms. Gilman, if you could. If you could pause right there. Individual sort of down towards the bottom of the frame, do you recognize who that is?
It's Karen and John.
So that would be the point in time where you say they sort of link up at the front door and then walk towards Washington Street?
That's correct.
And if you could, just with reference to the screen that we're looking up here in Exhibit 53, where is Washington Street? Where you had parked and where you observed Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed walking to?
So, okay. Trying to think of the buildings. That's the back parking lot where they're, like where you see the cars, and you have to take a left.
So directly in front of where Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed are standing is the back parking lot, and then to the left is Washington Street?
Yeah, I think you have to walk that way.
Okay.
And then you'll hit Washington Street.
Ms. Gilman, if you could just play through 25 seconds. You could pause there. Do you see an individual in the parking lot area?
I do.
And do you recognize who that person is?
I believe it's Jennifer,
By that you mean, I'm sorry, Ms. McCabe?
Miss McCabe.
And Ms. Gilman, if you go to the last 2 seconds. Thank you. Ms. Gilman, you can take that down, please. have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
I have no further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hello.
You and I have never met.
We have not.
We've never had a conversation.
Never.
We've certainly never interviewed
Nope.
together.
Never.
So this is our first time speaking.
Yes.
I want to direct your attention to part of your testimony on direct examination when you're questioning by Mr. Lally. You indicated that before Ms. Reed and Mr. O'Keefe left the bar, Ms. Reed had been making some statements about Mr. O'Keefe.
Okay. Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
You indicated that she said that she admired him,
Yes.
that she looked up to Mr. O'Keefe.
Yes.
She always had a way of complimenting him.
Yes.
That he took so much responsibility on as it pertained to the children,
Yes.
and that she did wish that they had more time together.
Yes.
They had planned a trip together,
Yes.
and she was excited about that.
Correct.
And she indicated that John was excited about that as well.
Yes.
Just before leaving the bar, you indicated that Jennifer McCabe said to Miss Reed, "You're coming with me," correct?
Yes.
She didn't say, "You and John come with me."
No. Correct.
That was directed just to Miss Reed.
Yes.
You're familiar with the town of Canton generally?
Yes.
You know that the distance between the Waterfall Bar and 34 Fairview would be maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes drive.
Probably.
So just after these statements were made, they went to 34 Fairview. 5 minutes later, 7 minutes later, they'd be sitting in front of 34 Fairview, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. All right, Ms. Kolokithas, anything?
Just very briefly, Your Honor. So, Mrs. Kolokithas, with reference to your relationship with John O'Keefe, as far as what you were relaying was what the defendant had said to you at the bar that night, correct?
Correct.
And fair to say you didn't have any conversation with Mr. O'Keefe in reference to relationship or trips or anything like that?
Not that night. No.
And as far as your relationship with Mr. O'Keefe is, do you have any sort of discussions at any point in time about sort of his relationship with Ms. Reed or anything going on in that relationship?
He didn't tell me personal things. No.
You didn't have that type of relationship, correct?
Correct.
And this time out on January 28th, that was the first time that you had been out socially with the defendant, Ms. Reed, correct?
Correct.
And so as far as what went on behind sort of closed doors at their home or anything like that, you didn't know anything about that?
I did not know.
Nothing further.
I have one question, Your Honor, if I may. But what you did observe between the two of them that night, to use your words, they were lovey-dovey.
They were.
All right, Ms. Kolokithas, you are all set.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.